Greetings everyone, it's Chris here. Video is for growthforsuccess.com. It's the very first one that I'm ever doing for the blog that I write, and which I wanted to make a video blog so that people could, in this day and age, not everyone's got time to sit there and read, so I'm really limiting who I can actually share what I've learnt with and what's helped me to overcome some really bad habits and a really unhappy life, and to turn that around and to start to move it in a direction where I'm actually living, I'm alive and I'm grateful, and I just wanted to kind of share that with people because I think we need to hear this stuff. We need to hear that you can go from really, really low planes of existence and feeling sad and being addicted to alcohol, junk foods and all this kind of stuff, cigarettes, all the other stuff that I used to do, which was kind of what I lived for, that base stimuli of the five senses, the quick hits, the quick fix, the chemical hits that came, even the watching lots of television and hours of that. And now I don't need that anymore. I still have my times where I spend a few hours playing video games and that, but hey, so does Elon Musk, and he's done quite a lot to help the world, so I think that's okay. I think we're allowed to have our vices. I think the thing is, when our vices have us, that's the problem. And for me, that's what it was for a very long time. So I just wanted to be very real. This is the first video ever. If you haven't already checked it out, guys, check out my blog, growthforsuccess.com. That's where I'll be popping this video. Obviously YouTube first. Thank you, YouTube. I'm so grateful for you. You're free and I can share all this information. We get all this good stuff and we don't even realize. But anyhow, what to do the first post about? So I was thinking freedom, because that's what I'm working on at the moment, but it's a very broad thing, and I could go into 50,000 different avenues with that one. So I'll stick with the simplicity of things, which would be emotion. Simple and complex at the same time. But one of the people that I'm most inspired by is a guy named Nikola Tesla. You may have heard of him, and you may not have. He said, if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Now, just to wrap this up in a quick, easy to understand text, so I'm not rambling forever, because I do that. Kitty is loving me here, yes. I've got to give the kitty a quick pat. Sorry. And she's going to heckle me more, but that's okay. Energy. Our entire body is made up of energy. Vibration. Everything in our body that is made up of energy is vibrating at a certain frequency. This is what gives things their tangible reality, okay? When you see a plant, it's vibrating. There's a certain amount of particles of energy that make that up, and they're vibrating, and that's what gives it its color, its shape, its feel. Vibration determines whether we perceive something as a sound or as something we see. Now, energy is probably what I'm most passionate about at the moment. What I could say I love, and every time I think of the word and where it points for me, it's really a really profound experience. Like it just makes me smile inside. So, kitty, stop licking my leg. Now, emotion is energy. Powerful energy. Very powerful energy. It kind of goes above logic in a way. It's much more powerful than our logical thought is. Now, once we're in a certain state of vibration, as in our energy levels are, they're high, and everything in your body is moving faster, your energy is flowing better, and you work and process emotion a lot better. That's when you're in a high state of vibration, which you could just say that's a feeling where you're feeling happier. Well, when we're in that state, Emotion's going to move a lot quicker through our bodies, and we won't be so reactive, and we won't get triggered as much from things. So a lot of the videos I'm going to talk about food, health, wealth, relationships, all the things that I've actually put a lot of work into to begin with. So I wouldn't talk about something I haven't put as much work into yet. So emotion's one that I work on every day. And I'm not perfect with it, absolutely not. What I am doing is I'm doing as much as I can to understand it. So one of the things I've done is, I've done my diploma of counselling, so I could sort of get a bit of the mind and how that influences emotion. And also I did my massage, become qualified in massage, so that I could understand the body a bit more, and how it's amazing how much emotion you can actually process from your body through massage. In fact, if you massage someone's belly, a lot of the time you actually they can cry, because a lot of people hold a lot of stored emotion in our bellies. The reason I want to talk about emotion is because it determines everything we do and everything we don't do. Thought, yes, it plays a massive part too, but we are driven by emotion. We are driven by it. We are taken for a ride by emotion. If we haven't gone inside and worked on previous emotions that we weren't allowed to process. Were you ever a little kid and you were shut down when you were experiencing an emotion? Or an adult? Were you ever hurt by something someone said because it triggered something inside, and you didn't go and talk to them and you just let that kind of sit in there and fester? Have there been times where you've had certain emotions and you couldn't turn that off, and they were painful, and you just had to sit there and stew in it? Well, this is actually really easy to explain why this is. Every time we experience an emotion, we have to process it, okay? Emotions, remember, E stands for energy, motion, movement. Energy, moving, okay? All energy is moving, just at different speeds of vibration. Now, emotion is moving very fast. It's very powerful. It can be explosive, and it can also be calm, depending on the emotion. If we don't process emotions that are stored, anytime we were a child and we were crushed emotionally, or we had to do something and we really, really wanted to do something else, or we experienced loss for the first time, and how we reacted, we might have had a tantrum and you may have been punished or smacked for that. That emotion, or you might have been told stop crying, or there's lots of different things that happen to all of us, and that's just because of the awareness of the world, of where we're at. Now, if there's certain emotions that always trigger you, or you always get angry, or you always get sad about something in particular, that's targeting the emotion in your body that you didn't process when you were younger. This is why the program I'm writing about how I dropped so far 18.5 kilos, but I haven't weighed myself in a while. But the aim was to drop about 25, 30 kilos in nearly, in a very short time. I don't know the exact time frames. But what that was doing was, I was actually experiencing a lot of emotion when I did that. I would have different emotions come out at me and I'd be like, where did that come from? See, emotion's stored in your body. If you don't get to process an emotion, it doesn't just disappear, for energy can neither be created or destroyed. Just do a Google search. I'm not going to go into it too much. But it can't be created or destroyed. It can be channeled, it can be stored, it can be transmuted. You can, like for example, water. Just one thing, water, which is made up of, other particles and whatever. If it's cold, it's a totally different thing. It's ice. You're not going to, you could hit something with it, or it's solid, but water is soft, and you can jump into it, but you wouldn't jump off a cliff into ice, and yet it's the same thing, it's just a different temperature. It's vibrating at a different frequency. Same as steam when it evaporates. It's just a different frequency that it's moving at. Now in our bodies, different emotions are just moving at a different frequency. It's just energy, and often it's just what we've got stored and we haven't processed. That's what's controlling our life. the painful emotions that we need to get out. Now, emotion, remember, movement, energy, moving. Now, if you've got it stored in your body, it's energy, it still vibrates at a frequency, but it's staying still. It isn't moving, it's not going out of your body, it's not being processed and released. You hear a lot of people talk about letting go, and a lot of religions and different schools of thought are about letting go of that pain, letting go of that emotion. But how do you let go? You can't just, I release you and sit there and think about it. It doesn't happen that way. It requires movement. It needs to get moving again. It needs to get free. It's stored. It can store in the cells, any cell in your body. Because everyone stores emotion differently. It can be stored in multiple locations, different parts. You can feel like you might get sad and like, oh, where do you get that? For me, I get it in my belly and in my throat sometimes. I feel like I can't talk. This is the chakras as well, the energy systems of the body being blocked. But that's another video for another time when I've actually learned a lot more about it. I'm just a newbie to yoga and a lot of Eastern philosophy, which is some of the best stuff there is. But yeah, for me, the way that I've actually, grown and increased and been able to get rid of a lot of bad habits that I needed before, I actually needed them. Because I did, at that stage I did. I needed them because I had all this pain, all this unprocessed emotion that we all carry, and I'd never let it go. So on that, I guess if I say that, if you think about this, even logically think about this, that everything you do is to feel a certain way or to avoid feeling a certain way. Everything you do. It's like, well, I'm a parent, I do this for my child because I love them, but how does that make you feel? It's all about you. Experience is first person. It's something that you experience yourself. So you're doing something for your kids or to help someone else, you're like, well, I did that for them. But what it does is it gives to you. It gives you a good feeling. It can give you a belief that I'm a nice person because I look after my kids. There can be ego in there as well, and that's fine. We need the ego to interact. We need to use it wisely and not let it use us, as we let a lot of things. But emotions, they're so powerful. And when you've got them stored in your body and you're not processing them, you're not going to be able to do what you want. You're not going to be able to stop those habits that are holding you back, the distractions. You're going to keep needing to numb your mind with a lot of television and the violent stuff that's really not good for your spirit, not good for your mind. If you enjoy a bit of it, that's fine. I could tell you every Netflix series back in the day because I used to watch it all the time. But that was just the distraction. It was keeping me inside with low vibrational energy from my computer, sitting inside, not breathing fresh, as good air as I could if I was outside. Not experiencing life. I'd rather go out there and meet people than to sit down and waste my time and pretend I don't have any time left. A lot of us just waste the time with the television. Yes, you're beautiful. I'm going to have to go and give my kitty some cuddles soon, but... So before I go, what have I used to get emotion out of my body? Because it's all good talking about it and saying, like, if you actually work on releasing that emotion that's inside, right, you're going to get results. You'll be able to experience emotions without it triggering everything in you. And if you get something that would have used to trigger you when you'd snap and then you'd feel bad and guilty for it or whatever, that won't happen as much. You're still human. It's probably always going to happen. You're never going to get to a point where everything's just perfect. Well, you never know. Maybe in a few hundred years. I think as a society we've got a long way to go. But the way that I've released emotions was I focused on my vices, the things that I was using to help me not have to look at those emotions that were stored. So a vice can be always being surrounded by people because you're scared to be alone and actually sit there and go inside and look at what needs to be worked on, what needs to be released. Yes, I know, you're beautiful. Cats are more needy than dogs, I can tell you that. Well, this one is. So by getting rid of vices, what do I mean by that? So television, for one. Good quality water. Putting good quality water into your body, not just the stuff that comes out of the taps that's full of heavy metals, and a little bit of research on YouTube, Google. The very minimum quality I get is the boxed water, and I filter that. But I drink, the most pure forms that you can, which we're told are bad for us, which I'll go over in another video, because I don't have the resources to go over it in this one yet. Movement. Absolutely movement. Now, the reason you put better foods in your body, okay? This is the reason to do it. You don't have to give up all the stuff that's all junk that you're like, oh, I need this. Well, you're probably going to cause yourself more pain by trying to give that up without having something to replace it with first, and without slowly building up the rate of vibration of your body and your feelings and actually feeling better, so you don't need that shit. What you want is to slowly introduce things of a higher vibration into your body. One of those things is going out into nature. Stopping to smell the roses, as they say. Good quality water. You can do meditation if you're going to do it. There's really good stuff on YouTube that you can look up for guided meditation. Yoga, when you're doing it properly, where you're actually engaging your body, that helps to move the energy out so quickly. Another one I got from a fella named Elliot Hughes. My good friend Jim listens to him a lot. Talking gibberish. So part of emotion being suppressed, and it happens through school, it happens from wherever you go, church, society, it could happen from Uncle Bob. They all lack of understanding. They don't mean to, but they crush you when they don't let you process your emotion and it gets stored. And because we got used to doing that as kids, we do it as adults. And how many adults do you see that when they can't have something they want, they have a childish emotional response? How many times do you do that? I do it. Not as much anymore, but I still do it, and I used to do it a lot more. Can't have something you want, so you throw a tantrum. And you feel angry. It's because you never learned how to process emotion properly as a child. Most adults don't know how to do it properly. I'm still learning, absolutely. And it's something that you want to learn your whole life, because if you're driven by them, wouldn't you want to know how to actually ride them and not just be driven, but actually ride the emotion, experience it, and not let it take you over? This is really important. What else can I say about emotion to help? I found that journaling or doing a video like this, even if you're not going to show anyone it because you don't want you don't want someone to say you're wrong or need to correct you on things, or you're scared of people's opinions, like we all are in ways, which is a perversion of fear. The real fear is to keep us alive, not the fear of what Uncle Harry thinks of what I said here, or I didn't get enough likes on this one. You're not going to help anyone if you're sitting there worried about that, like I was for a very long time, hence why it took me forever to do my first video. So actually trying to teach something that you do, that will actually raise your vibration. Every time you raise your vibration, all I mean by this is the reality you experience will feel better. Your emotions will be better. It'll get movement happening in your body. The more that you have your body moving, the more life force going through it that isn't blocked, the easier it is to clear out those emotions. So you can get a massage, that'll help. Get some yoga, eat alive foods, okay? If you can't give up your junk and eating dead things yet, then, that's fine. It's your journey, No one should put you down for where you are, because if they do, they don't understand life. And it's just their ego attacking you, and they need to justify their own reality onto you. This is a problem we get with a lot of religion, or any field. It's not just religion. But, I was brought up with religion, and for a long time I hated Christianity. Because what I experienced from it and what I saw wasn't the way I thought was good for the world, and it certainly wasn't. It was all about ego and politics, and you're supposed to be on this journey getting enlightened, and you're instead at each other's throats. It didn't really feel right for me. But it does help a lot of people, and the essence behind it is actually designed to be good. It's just mankind is very good at screwing things up. You know, just look at our oceans and the way we treat other creatures and stuff, just to see that it's not hard. And the way we treat ourselves. We don't have any compassion for ourselves, so we don't have it for others. That's another emotion. As you start to clear out the crappy ones, the ones that are really hurting you, and they get triggered every time, and you're having arguments and you need drama, as you clear them out, you'll get better ones. You'll get the ones that you naturally should have, just for being a human. Like, if you've ever had a pet, like a cat or a dog. See, I was thinking cat with pat, and so I got pat. Wait, pet. Anyway, you'll see they have unconditional love, and yet we're so much more sophisticated and intelligent, and yet we have unconditional pain. You know, so on emotion, yeah, like I'll put together a top 10 ways to clear emotion out of your body, and I'll do a really good video on that one, guys. This is just my first one. Putting myself out there. I'm sure I'm going to trigger some things in you, as I often get triggered in me when I'm watching other people and I think, but this is part of the journey. I didn't actually say that thing I got from Elliot Hughes about releasing emotion. I just realized that. So what he says is speak gibberish, right? Out loud. See, part of expressing is letting energy out. Getting emotion out is getting energy out. So what he means by gibberish is like, you know, you just randomly at the top of your voice or whatever, if you want to be quiet, loud, any expression you want, but just get energy out, right? There's a thing called primal shouting or primal screaming. You can just Google that and look it up. It's actually meant to be really effective. I haven't actually used it yet myself. So there's so much stuff. The more you learn, the more you realize you don't know anything. There's so much more to learn, and it's just a laugh along the way. And just how much courage are you willing to have? Are you willing to get out there and do what you want? You know, in my future videos, I plan to have music that I've written behind it that's just peaceful, because music is a vibration. It's the quickest way to put you in a happier state, in a better feeling state, right? So that can help you get the emotion out. Put on a song that you really like and sing it at the top of your lungs. Get it out of your body. So that you have to get rid of the old to get the new. You can't keep all this baggage and hope to get better emotions. You have to start clearing them out. So guys, PM me, send me a message, leave your comments, let me know if what I could cover in this better. Let me know what you'd actually like me to talk about, what would actually be really helpful for you, because everything we do is to experience an emotion ourselves, for us, okay? But we can still have good intentions and want to help others. We can still want, like, I hate seeing people suffer. I hate it. I did it for a long time, and it wasn't my first choice if I had to do it again, you know? But I'm not resentful for that, because it made me who I am. Sometimes you have to go through the shit before you can find the diamonds. Although I think they say dirt, but, you know, emotions, see, they'll come out. And they're beautiful, and they're to be embraced. There's no naughty emotion. If you've got emotions stored that you needed to process, and you think that they're bad to experience and to get out, how are you going to get them out? Being violent and hurtful towards other people, that's bad. But if you've got an emotion of sadness and you need to go through it, I'm telling you now, you've got to go through it. Whether you're a guy or a girl, just because society tells us, you know, we're at the cinemas, we can't cry for a guy. God, I'll tear up if it's a sad movie. I don't care. You know, I might be one day conscious enough to bawl my eyes out, but, you know, I am a man after all. But, you know, emotions are for guys, for girls, for creatures as well. Well, guys, yeah, like I said, my first video for growthforsuccess.com. I hope it's at least been a bit thought-stimulating. Sorry for going a little off track with my opportunity clock going off and the kitty heckling me, the beautiful thing that she is. Yes. I just wanted to put myself out there, and if this video can help one person, then hey, I'm going to be doing as many as I can. Not quantity over quality, obviously. I'll be aiming to put the absolute best that I can in there. So please, yeah, leave your comments, guys. Thanks so much for watching. And yeah, have courage and go after what you want in life. For me, this is it. This is one of the three things I'm most passionate about. So I'm going to do it. Alright guys, I'll see you later.